over the last 6 weeks or so, right, we've been having a lot of conversations about goals and business planning and preparing for 2024. Today, we're going to encourage you to think big, think deeper, think a little bigger. All right? What do you want to accomplish? Right? Are you thinking big enough? So let me ask you, what's your vision that you have for yourself? And as I ask you that, each table actually has some paper that you can write your thoughts down on. Because if you don't write, right, that's an excuse for not to accomplish it. So what vision do you have for yourself? This is personally speaking. Right? Personally first.
Yeah, we're not just talking about your business, right? The business in itself is what? Fictitious?
I like that. We just heard that yesterday as a leadership team.
So this is for your life. This is something greater than this business. The business is to fund the life. So you have to understand the lifestyle first.
Right? So what are your personal goals? Ooh, look at that. Mom, she's ready to. All right, I'm just breaking all my stuff. What's the vision you have for yourself? Yes, that's the well, yeah. I'm encouraging to think bigger, right? That's what today's about. Think big. So what's the vision you have for yourself personally? What do you want to accomplish? That's maybe what you heard first. No, not this year. Think big. Why are you slamming your hand?
I was proud of what I wrote.
Ah. Would you be brave enough to share?
I don't know if I'm not brave.
Really? Have we taught you nothing?
Brave.
Come on.
Hold up on the page.
Come on, be a leader.
Give us a comfortable version of it.
What I said was to build a community for those displaced. So like be able to own, I guess, what a master plan community for those who have been displaced in the world.
What will that do for you?
Huh?
I love it.
No.
Oh, that was recent.
What will that do for you?
That's a deeper question I haven't thought yet.
That's
Missing out when you don't come to these meetings.
That's great though. That's a legacy, right? That's what we're going to be focusing on today. All right, so let me ask you a couple of more questions here. What needs to change for you today, or better yet, read it yourself. What needs to change today for me to be inspirational to the people I love?
Not him.
For you. I'm reading it as if you were reading it. That's why I rephrased it. Right? What needs to change today for me to be inspirational for the people I love?
Get very personal.
Right? What positive impact are you going to have on your loved ones in your life?
Don't skate on these people online. Make sure you're jotting it down as well.
Yes, online. And are you interviewing anybody that's done that? Who are you interviewing that's done that?
So this should be an ongoing process.
Right? Breaking through ceilings, if you've taken 6 personal perspectives of me, breaking through ceilings is not about the what you need to do. It's about the who you need to meet. It's about the who you need to talk to. So who are you interviewing that's done this already that you can take a model from?
That's what I was just about to say. You do not have to reinvent the wheel. If you can think about it, then it's more than likely has been done, or at least some version of it has been done before. And you just need to modify it if it's never been done before.
Yeah, just make it you. Make it your own. A financially wealthy person is someone who has accumulated the financial wealth that provides the passive income to achieve their purpose in life without having to work. The one and only GK. So what are you building towards building that passive income?
How many of y'all want to have to work till you basically are checking out?
I think Pam just raised her hand, but I think that was just a reaction. You had your hand up like this for a second. I think. I mean, you've been an agent for how long?
You want to have to work?
You just only want
Not
to work.
that you don't choose to work, right? Because you can choose to work till the day you die, right?
Yes.
But yes,
might
but
choose
do you
that.
want to have to work? Right.
All right.
So how do we get to that financial freedom? We'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so how do we get there? Well, the first question is, have you done it before? Ah, that's the question. Have you accomplished it already?
Have you had massive growth before where you've achieved what you originally thought was impossible? Take us down that path.
Yeah, so it's called finding our multiplier. Okay, and we're going to do one part now, and then we're going to follow it up later in the meeting. So first and foremost, what I'd like for you to think about is how much the very first time, the absolute very first time you got paid for something, paid for doing some kind of work, like a job. How much was it?
Don't tell us.
Yeah,
Put it on your
just
paper.
write it down. Right? The 2 rupees. Okay, that is like 12 cents. Okay. Okay. His multiplier is gonna be through the roof.
Through the roof.
All right. Okay.
Right.
So
write it down. Write that number down.
right. So yeah, this could be anything. If it was,
You
mowing the
babysat
lawn, or
or-
you
right.
babysat, or anything
Some of
like
y'all
that, or your
sold
first
cool
job,
cups.
fast food restaurant, doesn't matter. Right? Newspaper delivery.
Cups.
Y'all remember newspapers?
Or your sibling bribed you or some kind of thing. You do my chores for one day, I'm gonna pay you
Oh
X.
shoot, I didn't go that deep. Okay. Man, I need to redo the exercise. No wonder my multiplier was lower than everybody else.
I didn't go that deep either.
Okay. Mine was my actual first paycheck. All right, so everybody's got that number.
I babysat.
What you got? Yes, dear.
What is a financially wealthy person is someone who has accumulated the
You want the
financial that
okay, here's the quote. You can write it. All right, so now that you've got the very first time you got paid for something, you have that number. Okay. So now the second number you want to write down is what's the best month you ever had financially?
Write that number down.
The best month
The
you ever
most
had
amount of
financially
money
you
you made in one
month.
month. Write that number down. It doesn't matter
Period.
anything.
Period.
Most amount of money you
made in
ever
1 month.
made in 1 month. In your life. I understand. We're activating the brain, right? Because we're gonna go.
No, she said it's right off it's at the top of your head, isn't it? See, Sharon knows the number. I bet you Pam knows the number.
Y'all, if you're having to think for a long time, it's been a while since you made that money.
All right.
However,
So now that you have that number, okay, what I want you to do is I want you to take that number you just had, the best month you've ever had, and I want you to divide it by that first number. Okay? I want you to take that best month you've ever had and divide it by that first time you got paid.
using calculators is okay.
Yes, using calculators is okay unless you're Vamshi and Farhad. They're brown and Sapna. You got to do it in your head. No, that math wasn't your strong suit.
Accounting for
That's why she became an accountant. All right, everybody's got that number?
Yeah.
Write that number down. That's your multiplier and hang on to it. Hang tight with that number. Just write it down.
Circle it.
Circle it. That's a good idea. All right. All right. So now moving on to, I truly believe that Keller Williams provides the most growth and the most opportunity out of every brokerage out there, or any brokerage out there. How many of you have seen this diagram before? Okay. What, like half of it? I saw it like covered on your desk and it was, yeah. All right, so this is the growth map at Keller Williams, all right? So these are resources that you have to help you grow. Now we're talking about business, okay? So these are resources that you have to help you grow. Are you taking advantage of these? All right, so first and foremost, we talk about some of our joint ventures, all right? From lending to homeowners insurance marketplace to iBuyer programs to concierge services. All right, these are all tools you have available to you. All
Niche
right.
specific things, right?
Yeah, niche specific things like our communities that you could be a part of, whether it's right luxury to commercial to land.
Right?
Okay.
Niches get you rich. Remember that?
Wait, what?
Keep track of everything away because like we just joined, right? But there are like 6-7 different applications that I have to like sign up for and like start using and criminalizing myself with.
Mhm.
So what's the best way to like track your progress through everything?
All right. So first and foremost, because today is just for clarity's sake, it's day one for him. All right. And you're asking amazing, powerful questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah. Take it a day at a time because there's a lot. And there's going to be a lot. It's going to be like a fire hose coming at you. Okay. So you take it one day at a time, get in touch with leadership, and we'll guide you.
I would suggest following that email that has your step-by-step. Start there first.
That's like making the account, like registering for all.
Yes, it's the foundation, it's the backbone, so that when you did come to us, we can enhance it from there. But yeah, absolutely. And I say, just get curious. Start, like we said it last time, tinker.
You're not going to break it.
You're not going to break anything. All right.
KW Operations is a new community that that talks about running Keller Williams operations, like behind the market centers and behind the scenes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We got access.
Yes, I will post it in the Facebook group.
And it
Sure.
goes in our KWSW 25 too as documents. So you'll get both.
Sure, it's an image. I'll post it there.
Do y'all
Like
have
it's a.
a floor chart?
Hang on. Yes, it's coming.
Why are you trying to ruin?
No, it shouldn't ruin my meeting.
You need to
Right.
just put this.
And then of course the next is right, and then the next pathway is education, right? Education through whether initially it starts with education through trainings and workshops, and then eventually getting into MAPS coaching, right? Where you have individual coaching sessions, you have group coaching sessions, right? So this is a pathway to growth to help you grow your business. So are you taking advantage of all these, right? Because the goal is for you to attain financial freedom. So what do we need to get to? Well, how do you determine your financial freedom? Well, first and foremost, you have to track your net worth. Do each and every one of you know what your net worth is right now? Whether it's big or whether it's small, do you know what your net worth is?
Or in the negatives.
Or
That
the negatives.
requires
Just-
you understanding the assets and the liabilities that you have. So tracking your numbers, tracking your income, tracking your expenses.
Absolutely. That's exactly how you calculate your net worth, right? What net worth is a simple calculation. It's how much you own, all your assets minus your liabilities, right? And that's how much your net worth is. All right, next, you track your cash flow, right? So money coming in, money moving out. Got to keep track of that. And then update it regularly. You should be looking at your numbers how often? Monthly.
I would say for cash flow, if you are struggling, build the habit and do it weekly,
Sure.
if not daily.
Absolutely.
All right.
Right. I
If
look-
you have no clue where your money is going, then it needs to be daily,
Mhm.
right?
Yes, at minimum monthly though, 100%. Okay, and then keep score, right? Track it. What'd you say? Oh, right. Keep score, track it, have a growth plan, right? Write it down. What's your plan? How are you going to get there? We're going to throw out some numbers pretty soon. In fact, you're going to come up with some numbers yourself. And how are you going to get there? What's the plan of getting there? That's your growth plan. It needs to be written down. And you know why it needs to be written down? Because your goals are 39% more likely to happen if they're written down. That's why we always encourage you to write them down. So what's your financial number, right? What's your financial number? Next calculation. I mean, what's your financial freedom number? All right. So basically, let's ask this question first. How much does it cost you, or how much is it costing you to fund your lifestyle? What's that number? $12.5 million for Brandon. Yes, what your current lifestyle, right? What you're comfortable with. What is the bare minimum, non-negotiable number? I know, to fund your lifestyle. Have you fixed that AC yet?
No, I haven't. And the bumper's falling off now too.
Right? All right, come on, guys. All right, let's bring it back in. What's the number? What's the number that it's going to take for you to fund your lifestyle?
Yearly basis or like, wow.
No, yearly basis.
Mhm.
On a yearly basis. On a yearly basis. How much do you need to fund your lifestyle? On a yearly basis. Okay? Like for you to ride off into the sunset. For you to ride off into the sunset, right?
I have to pick up a phone again.
Yes, and I don't know about not picking up a phone.
That's true financial freedom is for that later, right?
Well, that's my freedom number.
Yes, that is the freedom number. That's the number we're trying to get to. All right, everybody's got that number? Okay, now what I want you to do is divide that by 0.04. Divide that number, your freedom number, divide it by 0.04. And where am I getting that number from? We didn't bold. No, 0.04 is actually your return on investment. And that is a very conservative return on investment. 4% is a very conservative return on investment. In fact, a healthy return on investment could be about 8 to 10%. 10% is pushing it. 8% is a healthy return on investment. But we want to be conservative in this calculation. Okay, so let's go with 4%. So when you divide that by 4%, what numbers are you getting?
I want to add, just for clarity. So the first number you came up with was just how are you currently living? Then you're building on that, on what do you see? You know, how long do you contemplate being alive? And what does life look like from there? Right? And add that into what needs to happen on a yearly basis for that to happen. If you're traveling around the world 2 or 3 times a year, if you're supporting parents, if you are just whatever that is, then that is what, you know, your freedom number is really more looking like. And you're going to multiply that, divide it by 0.04?
Yeah, you're dividing that by 0.04. Somebody throw me out a number.
What'd you get?
12 million, Sapna got. 5 million? Somebody got 5 million? 12 million. Yes, he said 312 million. 3 million. Okay, 3 million. All right, how are these numbers sounding?
5 million.
5 million. So that number that you're coming up with is the amount you need invested for you to be able to fund your lifestyle. So now ask yourself, how far along are you to attaining this number, to reaching this goal? So this is what you're working towards. Okay, this is what you're working towards. So now what I encourage you to do is think bigger, because we're there now. This is the number you got to get to. Who's overwhelmed?
Mm-hmm. I felt that.
Mm-hmm.
Been there.
One third of what you just had on paper in the savings next year.
Right. Okay. It could. Right. This is why we encourage you to think bigger, because it is completely attainable. All right. So how do we get there? Right? How do we get here? Well, Brandon actually alluded to this just a few minutes ago. How many of you have ever even thought about other opportunities at KW? This is actually a roadmap that is not as public as it should be or could be. This is a roadmap, and I understand it might be a little hard to read. Well, I'm going to go through it, though. This is a roadmap of leadership and investment opportunities through KW, which all starts right here, where we all either are or once were, and that's individual agent coming into Keller Williams. From here, right, you experience growth. You can join the ALC, the Agent Leadership Council, Associate Leadership Council. You grow into a mega agent or a team. You take advantage of passive income opportunities through profit share, which is actually very important as you seek to move forward at KW, okay? Because they want to see, are you helping yourself grow through passive income? And are you believing in our system to help the company grow?
So for those of
Go
you
ahead.
who don't know profit share and what that simply is you're just connecting somebody who is not already part of our system into our system. And you connect them to one of the leadership, right? And once they come on board, then they're naming you as their sponsor.
Which is the reason they came to KW,
Right.
essentially, simply put, right? Okay, eventually you'll go into market center leadership, okay, which can open up other opportunities, whether it's being a national instructor, MAPS coaching, market center investing, joint venture investing, because market centers can get into title company investments and mortgage company investments, right? And then you can go into expansion, meaning multiple market center investments, and then regional leadership at Keller Williams. We all began somewhere, guys. I'm going to give you some insight. Some of you that have been around been around our market center know some of these things, right? Chad St. Jean himself started as a teacher. He's a multiple Keller Williams Market Center owner and operating partner now, right? Yours truly here was also a teacher first, and she's well on, her trajectory is already well on its way. I was hoping for Israel. He's escaped. That's who I was alluding to earlier. Israel had accomplished a lot as an agent with him and Tara, being a buyer's agent, lead buyer's agent on a mega team. Then him and Tara broke off to do their own thing, quickly became top producing agents in this office.
Both served on ALC.
Both served on ALC. They were both instructors in the office. It never crossed Israel's mind, if my memory serves me correctly, about leadership until somebody asked him, have you thought about leadership? Mere months, he's productivity coach here. So I'm asking you now, have you thought about leadership?
We already know your
Yeah,
answer.
we know your answer.
And not just thinking about it, obviously doing some of what she did, she being Sharon, is starting to ask the questions on how you get there. You ask enough people, you'll get some answers. And then people who know people will start helping, right? But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, true.
Yeah, the first time I walked in here, I was inspired by her,
Yeah.
the way she handled business. In fact, she was actually at the front desk that day.
Oh, the rare times, and I probably patched the wrong numbers.
Do you even know how to answer the phone yet? Yeah.
No, but so confidently and very in charge. She was in control. And she gave me that confidence that, yes, you can do it. So you inspire me to think
That's
of
what we strive to do every day. That's awesome. Appreciate that. Oh, man. Oh.
I'm just playing. Like one brain is different than the other brain. Very much so.
What I got out of that is she said we have brains. Yeah, she did say that.
Well, I got that for me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Abnormal.
Oh. All right.
I'm with abnormal. They're too young. They don't remember.
I don't actually. All right. So what's your time worth? What is your time worth? I love this.
Yeah, especially because if you notice with that opportunity map or any one of these things, it's all about leverage, right? You can only do so much with your own time. And instead of you trading money or time for money, we want to get you on the route where you're trading money for time.
Yeah, and too bad he walks in now, right? We just had all of that go on. No,
You didn't hear them loving on us, though. No. He's still trying to figure out where we are great investment.
Yes, exactly. He's still trying to figure that out on a daily basis. Yeah. Look at me smiling over there.
out what he did wrong when he hired.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Now, in our defense, we did put a disclaimer out there before we were hired.
He wasn't listening. Oh, I heard.
All right. So what is your time worth? Right? So what I would like for you to do is take your annual income. Take your annual income
At any given point.
at any given
So
point.
if you're just joining, what has been your annual income?
Sure.
for
Your
this
bet you
year?
can use your best year if you'd like. Okay. Your annual income, and I'd like for you to divide that by 2,000. Just use gross. 2,000.
2,000.
Can you make up a fictitious number?
Please don't. I mean, you can live in your dream world if you want. Let me not
Divided by 2,000.
divide by 2,000.
The number you get there is your hourly rate. That is how much you cost per hour.
How do you get the, where does the 2,000 come?
2,000 hours, 2,000 working hours. in the-
Oh,
A
and
regular
Mhm.
given, yeah,
Mhm.
work week in a
Mhm.
year. Oh. 2,000 working hours.
Based on 40 hours.
Yes.
And we know at times.
So that is your hourly wage.
Your work, oh, you said what you?
I said, I didn't know I'm worth this much an hour.
There you go.
There you go.
That was the epiphany that I wanted you all to have. So your time is precious. So as Verna was talking about leveraging, it's a cool little stat that we heard yesterday. That if you can get a task done, if you're looking to leverage for 25% of how much it would cost you to do it, which now you know how much that is, it's something to consider leveraging off.
Yeah, pay somebody.
That lets you know how much you can potentially pay somebody to do some of the things that you don't, is not that same value, meaning it's not that much per hour, right?
That way you can use your time better spent,
Absolutely.
right? All right. So let's go back. What was your freedom number? What was your freedom number? How about we double it?
We're in Think Bigger.
Okay. Or 10 times it.
By 2,000?
No, that your
was your-
freedom number that we came up with first, right? Your financial freedom number. The big number. The big number, the massive number, the amount of investing we want.
What if we told you to double it? Does that make you anxious? Does it seem doable? No, it doesn't make you anxious, doesn't seem
Do you
doable.
believe you can accomplish that?
We don't even want you to just double it. I want you to 10x it. 10x it.
It
It
can be
is scary.
The question is, do you believe it's attainable?
Right. 10x it. It may not even be containable for some of y'all's calculators.
Here's the E in my calculator.
Well,
You feel like it's unattainable, but
haven't you done it before?
let's go back to your multiplier. What was some of y'all's multiplier? We asked you to
Yeah, I
circle
would
it.
love to hear some now. What were some of the multipliers?
We asked you to circle it. What was it?
Okay, we have a 213.
The multiplier.
Did she come in after that?
Kind of. Okay, the multiplier was when you took what you first made, like the dollar amount you made the first time in your life, right? For some kind of work. And then your greatest month. And you took your greatest month and divided it by that dollar amount. What was some of
No, it was like
No,
paycheck.
one paycheck.
One paycheck.
Oh, one paycheck.
Yeah.
Yes, one paycheck or one.
So you're okay, time out. Yeah, whatever that was. Yes.
Yes.
One paycheck.
So one paycheck or one, like someone handed you $20, right? So let's just use this. Someone handed you $20 and your best month was 20,000. So you took 20,000 and divided it by that $20. What did that give you?
Okay, so
Okay.
Pam's is 1,000. That's her multiplier.
No, for my
Oh, yeah, that was
situation.
for her calculation. Right.
Mhm. Right.
If you take your best month ever in income. Ever.
Ever.
Well, we're
Right.
talking about your month, your best month ever.
Mhm.
Okay,
For
take your
free.
best month ever, whether it's 10,000, 20,000,
No,
5,000,
best month,
ever. period.
collective,
Yes.
collective month.
And then you divide it by
Your first,
your
your
first,
first.
yeah, the first amount of income
income.
that you made, single income.
So my multiplier was 3,000.
Yeah, hers is crazy. Mine was like 82.
Yours was
Yours was
more?
more, yeah,
What was
because
yours,
he went with
Vamshi?
rupees.
Well, yeah, because he started with rupees. But what was yours?
3,600.
Anybody more than 3,600 as their multiplier? For me, my very first was $35.
Okay. So now that you, what? You should have done it before, guys.
So 120.
Well, that was the first one. And then the best month ever.
So her multiplier is 120,000.
Okay, so what we're doing once we have that multiplier is now you're going to
It's
multiply it by
875.
your annual income. Multiply it by your current annual income. Take the multiplier and multiply it by your current annual income. Or if you're just getting into real estate, your previous income, annual income. Take your multiplier and you're going to multiply your annual income times the multiplier. What's that number?
7 million. 7 million, 7.35 million.
7.3 million. The long number, Sharon? Throw some numbers. Vamshi, what's your number? Because you don't know what's after trillion? Yeah, so many zeros. Sapna, what was your number? You don't know? That's how big
This
the
year.
number is. So here's the point. Yes, it is an exponent. Here's the point. The point is this is how much you've already grown in your income history. We'll calculate it in a minute, right? This is how much Chad's helping you. This is, yes. We lost it in this project, this is how much the point is, this is how much you've already grown in your life so far when it comes to income. So all of a sudden now you can grow to this number still. You've already proved that you've done it before.
Yeah, because when you were making that $35, $75, 2 rupees, did you ever think you would ever make what you've made in 1 month? No, at that time you didn't. So here we are again. You're thinking that the multiplier that we gave you when we calculated your freedom number, you can't get to, but you've done it before. You've grown exponentially before.
Okay.
We'll wrap this up.
Yeah. So before we get to the closing here real quick, I do want to so how do we start on this path? Right? How do we get here? How do we track the things that we were tracking? Well, we have 4 core tools here that you need to start taking advantage of. All right. First and foremost is the 411. What are your personal goals? And you need to have them in writing. Right. And then you shift over to the GPS. So what are your business goals? Okay. Then you have your organizational chart. It's the roadmap of where you want to take this, how to get to this number that now we've come up with. Okay. And last but not least is the growth plan. You want to have an action plan in writing to get you to this destination because that's how you'll get there. Okay. Now to get you started,
So
we have a plan.
yes, we'll have the first 2 happening in December, 2 workshops, one for 411, the second one being for the GPS. And then in January, we're going to roll out the organizational chart and then your growth plan. All right. So stay tuned for those workshops. They'll be on our calendar and we'll probably blast them out during the team meeting as well.
Yes, so there's no excuses. We'll do it right here. So we'll get you on that journey. Okay. So we're going to leave you with this one thought. What legacy can I leave 1,000 years from now? We heard a pretty interesting story yesterday, and it had to do with Old England. As you know, there's a lot of history there. And as we heard the story from a very well-known maps coach, and he was vacationing there. I've been there many times and have experienced it as well, where he was in Old England and they were driving around and his tour guide was showing him different places. And the fascinating things that he was sharing was that, hey, this piece of land has been in that family for 1,000 years, or that piece of land has been in that family for 1,000 years. So what can you do in your lifetime to leave a legacy 1,000 years from now?
I think legacy is built on like exploiting different countries.
Yeah, you're missing the point. Is what can you
What's your
do?
legacy?
What's your legacy going to be? What's your legacy going to be that you can leave for your generations to come? Right? We call it like it's referred to as old. You're in River Oaks and it's referred to it as old money. Right? So what can you do today where generations down the line, they can say, oh, this is old money that came from you?
When will you be thought of as old money? How can you be thought of as old money? You know, anything is possible with enough time.
When you got generational wealth, like
Absolutely. Now you're thinking like we're thinking.
So how can you be that forefather?